10 days from tonight, one of the topics that President Biden and Donald Trump are sure to bring up in their first debate is the black vote. But suddenly, Biden is showing some vulnerability there. An aggregate of recent polls show that Trump is making some gains. One real-life illustration of this is black farmers in swing states. Many are expressing their frustration with the Biden administration for, in their eyes, not doing enough to help them financially. Biden has allocated money and programs to support farmers in distress. However, a major one of those programs, $4 billion, is the subject of a lawsuit by white farmers who say it's reverse discrimination. John Boyd Jr. is the founder and president of the National Black Farmers Association, and he joins me now. John, good to see you, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Abby, again for having me. It's great to see you.
So as we just discussed, I mean, this main program that is designed to help black farmers and farmers who have been discriminated against hasn't really gotten off the ground because of this lawsuit by white farmers. Why does that make you and perhaps other farmers say that they're not going to support President Biden when President Biden wants this program to go through and he's not the reason that it's not?
Well, the president hasn't moved enough on this initiative here, Abby. This isn't just a new ask here. So I've been trying to get debt relief for black farmers for over 3 decades here in the United States. And the whole time I was asking for it, white farmers was getting debt relief. Matter of fact, they were getting all of their debt relief. And then they turned around after we finally got it done by an act of Congress and started suing us in key states around the country. Texas and Florida and some others issued temporary injunctions. And just as I started winning some motions in federal court to motion to intervene and hear the actual discrimination that black farmers faced, the administration repealed it by an act of Congress. So yes, white farmers sued us, but also the administration repealed it. And I wanted the president to fight for black farmers to get the $5 billion to 120% that we were promised from the beginning. Instead, we didn't get it. So we see it like 40 acres and a mule. It's the same initiative. Those farmers who are tied up, those 17,000 black and other farmers of color, have their deeds of trust tied up with the United States Department of Agriculture. Those are the real farmers that I'm trying to save in this country. And instead, the administration went silent. But we wanted them to fight like they're fighting for affirmative action. We wanted them to fight like he fought for college debt relief for college tuition. But we haven't heard the administration even say the word black farmer since it was repealed.
One thing I just want to note is that there is another program that is intended to help farmers who have been discriminated against. The money is supposed to go out this fall. That's according to the administration. But on the issue of support in this upcoming election, do you think that you can support President Biden in November?
Well, and thank you for asking me. There's been a 2-year-old request that I've been trying to visit with the president to talk about an administrative fix for black farmers. And what we want, Abby, we want the administration to settle Boyd versus the USA. Those are all of the debt that farmers that were promised 120% debt forgiveness. And we also want the administration to put a halt on all farm foreclosures. That means our direct loans, guaranteed loans, and other financial institutions. Black farmers should not be losing their farms for an administration that I was probably one of the first black organizations that came out and endorsed the vice president when he was trying to be president of the United States. And one of the things he said, hey, Boyd, if I win, there will be changes at USDA and black farmers will get financial relief through debt relief. And it hasn't happened. And that's what we're trying to get resolved.
So, John, I know we lost your picture, but we can still hear you. So I'm going to ask you one more question, because I think the question that was raised in this New York Times piece was whether these black farmers who are disenchanted with President Biden are going to then go over and support Donald Trump. One of the things, though, is that the people who are doing the most to try to stop targeted relief to black farmers are people who are associated with Donald Trump's administration. So if you have friends in the black farmer community who are thinking about casting a ballot for Donald Trump, do you think that that is wise given the track record of people like Stephen Miller who are behind a lot of these lawsuits?
Nobody is saying go out here and vote for Donald Trump.
Some
That's
people
not what
are.
I'm saying. I'm saying
Not you. I'm just saying some people
yes.
are saying that. Yeah.
Well, I'm saying it on your show. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We're saying we want the president to come to the table and settle so that the black farmers can get the $5 billion that we were promised. The only presidential candidate who's came forth and made that promise was Kennedy on his podcast. He said he would do it within the first week of office. The president is in office now. He can do it. And you know what bothers me is $175 billion went out to Ukraine. A lot of that money, Abby, went directly to Ukraine farmers. Nobody sued them. Nobody has an issue with helping Ukraine farmers who are not even citizens of the United States. But you can't help black farmers right here in this country. And when you look at immigration, people coming in this country getting credit cards and debit cards and be putting them up in public housing and all of these things, but you can't provide relief, $5 billion relief for black farmers. What does that say to my daddy, John Boyd, who passed away a couple of years ago? What does that say to Thomas Boyd? I'm sitting on a farm right now in Boydton, Virginia, where my forefathers were slaves in this country. And there's always a reason why we can't get something. That's the frustration that you hear from black farmers. And they're getting to the point where they're saying, I don't care if it's a president, whoever. We just want to get the money. That's why I want to sit down and talk to the president. We want to support him, but he has to come to the table and acts like he really wants the black vote. And in this case, black farmers. That's where we are. So
yeah, John,
I
hear you.
This meeting.
I hear you, and I know
it should be a given.
Like you said, you've been working on this for a really long time. I hear what you're saying about
Yes.
wanting to be heard by the president. Maybe he and his aides are watching tonight. John Boyd Jr., we appreciate you for joining tonight. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.